Alright, Lynsey, this video is for you, and this is homework number 4, the creativity exercise. So the creativity exercise is when you start thinking of creative ways to replace one of the systems, and it ties with the quality model. So when I look at your quality model, I see that for your fence, you're looking for sustainability in a fence, but not very important. Containment is an important factor. Cost is one of the factors. Durability and sustainability in the terms of, being so durability and sustainability, I'll have you clarify those two, or the difference between the two when we talk. If you meet sustainability, meeting the lead requirement or made of sustainable environment material that have low impact on the environment, then please say that. Because usually sustainability and durability, durable, something durable or something, anyways, sustainable needs to be clarified a little bit. Durability, I would think it falls under sustainability, but anyways. Aesthetics, ease of installation, installation time, need of specialized tools, offering privacy, requiring of maintenance time and the cost of the time, and the neighborhood requirements. So these are the factors that you are considering. When you want to be creative, so you say, okay, I have a chain link fence like you described in your house, and clearly that meets the neighborhood requirements. You are thinking of replacing this fence. So a creativity exercise will consist of thinking of what is it that I can do to fulfill all those requirements, or most of those requirements, or in part some of those requirements. Okay, so containment. If your goal is to contain what? The animals inside, then do you really need a fence? Could you put an anchor in the middle of the yard and tie your dog on a, 30-foot or 50-foot long leash or cord and let your dog run around the yard? Would that contain the dog inside your yard? Then you see, that's what we mean by the creativity exercise. I can do something that meets some of those requirements, but maybe I don't need the fence anymore. So here's another thing. The initial cost of the anchor, the hook where you tie your dog, is probably much cheaper. It probably will last a long time, and you probably won't even notice it, so it won't affect the aesthetics of anything. It's easy to install, don't require too much time or any specialized tools. Now clearly it will not offer you any privacy, but it looks like privacy is not a top factor. It would not require any maintenance or maintenance cost. And what about the neighborhood requirements? Would your neighborhood have an issue with that? So that's one way to look at it. Now, the other way would be to say, okay, well, I still need some privacy, and privacy is an important factor that I don't want to neglect. Well, that's fine. Could you plant some bushes, like I see you have some bushes in place, and the bushes will stay there, which you have as one of the factors for you. So you say, I may put some plants, flowers or something, and that will provide maybe some privacy. You might not need to block your whole yard. Maybe just a small section, you put some flowers, or you put some, I'm not sure, something, just for a small section. Now, these ideas need to be included in your creativity exercise. What you've done here in homework number 4 is more like, it's not quite number 5, but it's close to be number 5. And I'll explain how. So creativity exercise is these ideas. A hook in the middle of the yard will contain the dog. And there you go, that's all I need to fulfill, as you saw many of them. For a little bit more privacy, I maybe put, I don't know, some plants or something that give us, just from the right angle where you see the people or the people want to see you, or the small section of the yard where you want to create some privacy. That's it. Another idea would be to if I want to replace a fence, so the idea is to put something other than the fence. Instead, you went in by comparing many fences or style of fences. Okay. If you want another idea other than the hook in the middle of the yard to contain that, we talked about just having flowers in place, and in addition to the hook, and that could suffice both as a fence, and the hook for the containing your dog. If you want to contain the dog in place also, and you don't want the hook, you could say, I'm going to put an electric fence. Maybe the dog will stay inside the electric fence, right, and wouldn't cross. Plus, maybe those flower beds or something, or plants to cover, to create some privacy, or privacy screen. Again, these would be ideas that you put in the creativity exercise. So you want to be creative and think about, for instance, outside of this, because I'm drawing blanks here. Creativity exercise is recommended to be done in a group. It's recommended to be including people that are outside of our field, kids, users of the environment. And the idea here is that they give you something that you wouldn't think of, and that's why it makes it creative. Chapter 6 in your book, that Del Isola book, described the creativity exercise. And I believe they have like 6 dots, and they tell you to draw 4 lines continuous and connect all the dots. And you'd realize that you wouldn't be able to connect them all unless your lines extended outside of the dots. So apparently, if you give that exercise to a kid, they will draw 4 lines and connect it. And you give it to an engineer, and they find it impossible. Engineers tend to have structured minds. And when you are a professional individual and you come up with ideas from your field, you tend to focus on only the ideas that you know. However, the creativity exercise encourages you to explore things that you wouldn't necessarily consider as an option. So, again, I was going to give you another idea. Stairs. We use stairs to climb up and down from one story to another in a building. If you have an elevator, the other thought would be, well, do I really need the stairs? Can I just have a ladder and maybe a pole, like a fireman pole? So then if I want to go down the fire pole, I can slide down that fire pole and don't have to worry about, going down the stairs. And a ladder, obviously, is cheaper, takes less space within a building, and can get you from lower level to upper level. So the combination of the ladder and the fireman pole will solve this problem for having stairs to get you up and down. Now you tell me, well, if my building has to meet some code requirement for handicap or AI, American Act with Disabilities, then we have a problem. Yes, I agree. And your goal is to, however, still come up with those creative ideas, and then take each one of those ideas and compare to the goals that you're trying to achieve. For instance, your goal from having a fence is to provide privacy, contain animals, meet neighborhood requirements or meet requirements for neighborhood. So these would be the goals that you're trying to achieve. These would be your primary goals. And then we take whatever option we have and compare it to those primary functions. And if they satisfy those primary functions, then you'd be good to go. And that's what you do in number 5. Assignment number 5 is when you take all those ideas that you came up with here in the first one and then compare them according to their importance. For instance, meeting the neighborhood requirements is something that you probably want to give the top requirements, so it's probably 10 out of 10. Containment, I think it's going to be probably 8 out of 10. Aesthetics, 8 out of 10. And I want to stop here for the sake of just making the point for you. So then you'd say, well, does having just a row of trees or plants meets the neighborhood requirements? Yes. Okay, good. Does it contain? No. Does it offer aesthetic view? Yes. Then I give a score. Then I go again and I say chain link fence. Does it meet the neighborhood requirements? Yes. Does it contain? Yes. Does it offer aesthetics? No. And then you score these two, and then you decide which one has the higher points. Now, if you're going to couple your flower bed with a hook for the dog or a invisible fence, and then you could see that the cost of the two together as one solution, again, would it meet the neighborhood requirements? Probably yes. The containment, yes, although maybe not ideal as much as a fence. And aesthetics is nice. And therefore, it would probably be the winning choice because it has the highest number of points. Again, I'll stop here and offer you a chance to listen to what I just said. And you're welcome to revise this assignment or touch base with me, and I'll be happy to go over this again with you. Okay? All right.